What's really happening with ICE in Minneapolis? Minneapolis has become the center of a growing national controversy, and this time, it's not about weather or sports. It's about ICE, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, and a rapidly escalating situation that has drawn national attention. Over the past several weeks, tensions in Minneapolis have risen sharply following intensified ICE enforcement operations across the city. What were described as routine immigration actions quickly turned into flashpoints, sparking widespread anger, fear, and protests among residents. The situation reached a boiling point after a fatal encounter involving federal immigration agents and a local resident. That incident triggered outrage across Minneapolis and beyond, with many community members demanding accountability and an immediate halt to ICE operations in the area. Despite freezing winter conditions, thousands of people took to the streets in sustained demonstrations. Protesters marched through downtown neighborhoods, carrying signs and chanting messages calling for justice, transparency, and the removal of federal immigration agents from the city. The protests expanded beyond marches. Some businesses closed in solidarity, while workers and students participated in coordinated stay-away actions, signaling how deeply the issue has affected daily life in Minneapolis. At the same time, federal authorities increased their visible presence, reinforcing ICE and Border Patrol operations as part of a broader enforcement push. This move only heightened tensions, with many residents describing the federal presence as intimidating and disruptive to community safety. Local and state leaders have since voiced concern, warning that continued enforcement could further inflame unrest. Calls have grown louder for federal agencies to scale back their operations, as officials attempt to calm the situation and prevent further violence. Supporters of ICE argue that the agency is carrying out its legal mandate to enforce immigration laws. Critics, however, say the tactics being used are aggressive, harmful, and disproportionately impact immigrant communities and families. As of now, Minneapolis remains on edge. Protests continue, federal agents are still active, and the debate shows no sign of cooling down. What's unfolding here is no longer just a local issue, it has become part of a broader national conversation about immigration, policing, and civil rights in America. How this situation is resolved could shape how immigration enforcement is handled in major U.S. cities moving forward. Beyond the immediate protests, the situation in Minneapolis has also reignited deeper questions about the relationship between federal agencies and local communities. Many residents say trust has been eroded, not just because of recent events, but due to years of strained interactions between immigration enforcement and immigrant neighborhoods. Community leaders warn that fear caused by aggressive enforcement can discourage people from reporting crimes, accessing healthcare, or sending children to school. This, they argue, ultimately weakens public safety rather than strengthening it. On the national stage, Minneapolis is now being closely watched. Lawmakers, advocacy groups, and city officials across the country are paying attention to how this standoff unfolds, knowing it could influence immigration enforcement strategies in other major cities.